Maybe I'm getting a bit philosophical and spiritual on a Sunday morning. But I had a nice conversation with my dad about religion and stuff, and I don't know, to me, I think, one, humans overcomplicate shit. Most of what I think, at least in my life right now, important life lessons like kindness, love, treating each other like they're yourself pretty much, and just, all that good stuff. The entire point is that the imagery of it doesn't matter. We fucking teach kids these life lessons using a talking turtle. Like, everybody can be right or wrong because all we're doing is writing stories with different set pieces that say the same thing. Most stories have that similarity because we're all humans and we all have similarities. Like, I just don't understand why we get so hung up on, is his name Jesus? Is it this, and this? Well, I mean, it's a story about acceptance and surrender and forgiveness. Like, there's other religions that have that similar story. Like, look at Joseph Campbell. He says that that's the hero's journey, and it's told in multiple different perspective and ways in history, and it's literally has the same elements to it. So I guess that's my argument, is Joseph. Like, in our lives and throughout history for everybody else, like, we have played the good guy and the bad guy. Different perspectives in different situations even have a difference between the two. But, whether we think so or not, we have played the bad guy and the good guy probably in multiple different life lessons and stories of our lives. Almost what it feels like an infinite amount, at least to me at the moment. But it's literally just like the life lesson and the feelings invoked behind it. It's like art is art. Like the medium of it doesn't really matter. It's what you get out of it. It's what the viewer sees. And so, and then this song pops up. Like, what the fuck? Well, yeah, everyone gets hung up on that. And it's like, life in general, I feel like for anybody is, we all feel, I posted this on my Instagram, a picture I found. We all are going to think we found the truth because that's the truth for us. And it's like, we're all going to find peace through accepting of something. Like, full acceptance of it is like believing it to a T because of your life experiences. So of course your worldview is going to feel like it's the truth. But that's the thing, is that all of it is different set pieces and different people in your life. People play different roles. People play the same roles. Other people play the same roles in life. Things people do make us think about those things people did to us at another time. That's a really, overcomplicated way of explaining what I'm trying to say, is that, like, trauma, like, there's things that people do that may not seem, that are bad in what their context is, but it triggers something in somebody else did. It's people playing these roles in our life, and all of it doesn't matter. We're talking about the same shit. We all speak a different language practically, even though we speak the same language, is that a different story of the human experience, all amounting to, I think, pretty much all the basic life lessons. Like 2 + 2 = 4, not this overcomplicated mass of Goodwill Hunting, if that's the movie I'm thinking of solving all these crazy math equations. Even though math is the language of the universe, think of it just perspective. Life lessons are like 2 + 2 = 4, and human beings try to make it out to be this overcomplicated mass of variables when the variables don't matter. It's what the number is behind the variable. Holy shit. Okay, well, I guess that's all I'm trying to say, is that this is all just noise coming out of my mouth and everyone else's mouth. It's all just formed sound with our lips coming out of our mouth, projected from our mouth. And our use of language is just what we were brought up learning, or learning later in life. But what we realize is that there's different words to say different things, and there's the same word that means different things in different contexts. So it's all these things are just words meaning something. They're all variables too. And all we do is we overcomplicate it by saying the words matter. And I guess in some cases they do, to like not misconstrue the meaning behind it so much, but we're all talking about the same stuff, just using different languages already, like literally. And that's just at one surface level. Next, you have your own perspective on things, your own ways of looking at things, your own cadence of saying it. Because some people can say sick and they mean cool, or dope and they don't mean drugs, you know? Like, we all have a different full-on life experience that's different from everyone else's. Nobody has our life experience. So we all are already defining our worldview and what we say and do based off of that experience. And so everyone's thoughts on the world is completely different anyway. So what's the point in sitting here and just matching up with people who like the same characters? I'm guessing now I'm realizing that any kind of fandom is just religion. We just like our own preference of storytelling, I guess, or characters to tell these life lessons and to hit us in those fields and to, you know, push us to learn. And yeah, I guess like if you stand for a show, usually probably based off of that. Like, you can literally learn like life lessons from Jersey Shore if you're looking hard enough. It's entirely possible. You can learn anything from anything if you look deep enough at it. So I think that's just it. I mean, it's not getting caught up in their neighbor and their who they perceive to be enemies because they're different from them, which makes them fearful. And they hear a lot of other stories from people of those people in that tribe, a horrible, evil person, when in fact they're literally just human like you, that just tells the same stuff in the same stories, in the same meaning and context behind it, just using different languages and set pieces, you know? And I don't know, it's all just storytelling. And so why do we sit here and I don't know, I'm just overcomplicating shit too, I guess. I mean, I'm overly explaining this concept I have of stop overthinking shit, stop overanalyzing it, stop injecting your own beliefs into something that makes it the ultimate truth, when in fact it's filled with you all in it in just another face. I don't know. What I'm saying is that the simple truths in life are simple. They're 2 plus 2 equals 4, and we like to just overcomplicate that shit. And it's really, it just comes down to like those simple truths, you know? And, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. You know, sometimes I just go on these little ranty poos, and in all reality, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just spewing what comes to mind, and I don't know. Could be truth, could be not, could be wrong. I don't know. I just don't care much anymore. It's just living life out here. I'm out here right now. We out here. Yeah, so don't take my words so seriously, because I probably actually more than 75% of the time I'm usually wrong. There's this line in a song that says, we wait so long just to be wrong. And I mean, isn't that life right there? We tend to hold on too long and maybe let go too soon. Your perspective changes every day. You're never the same person you were the day before. Things tweak itself day to day, moment to moment. And we change, and life changes. And most of the time, where people just get really scared and upset by the change when you're going to change anyway. You're making it hard for yourself by not changing with it, you know, like you're fighting it, and you fighting it is what's hurting you. I don't know, it's like this fucking draconian laws out there, man, that are just trying to go back to the things used to be. What were they used to be? It changed every day, moment to moment. What moment are you ingraining in your mind that you want to get back to? It's usually a place of like happiness or comfortability, or remembering the last time we were happy, which is for a lot of us is usually kids, because stuff happens in life and we get bogged down by this trauma, and it's just like that. It's hard to then see some of the stuff life has to offer because we're constantly being injected these feelings of not being good enough, not being worthy of love, hating yourself, hating other people, just being afraid of other people due to these situations that happen to us. And I think through that self-love and like that self-courage and strength is that people can overcome those things. And just like, that's how they change, it's like every day, it's like we gain a new perspective on something that we probably mulled over so many times in our own head. So what I'm trying to say in this long, convoluted way is that, we're just like afraid of change and stuff, and that's where the fear stems from, is that it's a fear of it being unfamiliar and change too fast for people, which is just people that are trying to hold on too much. Life is about holding on just as much as life allows you to hold on for, and then letting go. And it's not easy. It's not perfect. A lot of times we hold on more than we let go because of, life going by so fast. And we feel like we haven't gotten enough of it, and we want more. It's a drug for at least me. So, we're not perfect. Every human being is going through a lot of the same shit. And somebody asked, like, that's crazy that different experiences one has, like we grow up in completely different cultures, but we come to the same conclusions. And that's what I'm talking about, is it's because they're all just set pieces. The meaning behind this stuff is the same. We get these same feelings. And they're just stemmed from different words and different language. And that, on top of it being familiar to people in a different language and being afraid of that change that's stemming from it, is what creates a lot of these schisms in society, these boundaries we put up. It's all just fear, fear of something different. And what is there to be afraid of? It's literally your same ideas with a different hat on. And if they don't, it could be a different way of looking at something, and you could change for the better. So why not do that, And I know it's hard to change and let go and hold on. I mean, I'm a proponent of holding on way, way too long to stuff. But I mean, I guess that's life, and I guess that's just our own personalities. I don't know. I just hope people learn that at some point. Is just go with the flow and love life and go with change. It's just all a good time out here, man. At least to me. But I'm like an ostrich with this head in sand. I really don't put a lot of negative things in front of me anymore, just for my own mental health's sake. And I kind of just focus on things in my day, and that can be very ignorant, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what I'm really trying to say. This is my language. This is what I've learned, and I mean, it could have different hats on for different people. It could be the opposite of what people think. Either way, we're probably both wrong and right, and we're probably going to slowly come together, I guess, or move towards this central truth over time. We could get stuff 75% right and 25% wrong, and every day it's just a little bit percent more right. I don't know. I feel like we all have that central, that simple, centralized truth very early on in life. And I think we just get fucked over by the pieces that got fucked over by their pieces, that got fucked over by their pieces, that got fucked over by their pieces. And, it's just a constant cycle until one of us in the cycle is just like, well, you know what? I'm not going to fight this any longer. I'm not going to become that. Maybe they become too far the other way then, and that's life in itself. I don't know. We all have our struggles, and we all have those things early on in life that really fucked us over because we're kids and we didn't know anything and we trusted adults. So over time, we pick up bad habits. We pick up things that people have done to us, and we end up turning around doing them to other people. We learn life from people that don't know life, and because most of us get it wrong to a degree. And so, what I think these centralized truths / loving yourself to love everyone else / just being happy in the moment sort of thing is all childish concepts. And I'm not meaning overly simplified. I'm meaning we've learned things as children, and we're fully enveloped in it to a degree, whether we got, I don't know, I guess that can be funny. I mean, look at Idiot Abroad, look at anybody who's just funny being angry. I tend to be, just because I'm scared of what people see in me when I get angry. I don't like the feeling. And so over the years, I've played it up in some comedic way in the moment while also being angry. And then nobody took me seriously. Like, I don't know. But yeah, life got hard. But I mean, that's what I'm saying, is that life gets hard and everything, and we learn things wrong, or we get bogged down by mental illness and trauma, and we have to unravel all that. We have to, for my case, take medication and go to therapy and unravel that stuff to get back to those simple truths, because humans overcomplicate. Like, ego is just like overly believing in your truths, thinking that you're all fucking that, when the opposite of that, that's selfless side of it, is true, I believe, true confidence through the self-love you give yourself enough to realize that you're wrong most of the time, but you're comfortable with that. You're fine with being wrong because it's not hidden behind these cards anymore. Like at a poker table hiding your hand. You're just like, hey, here's my cards. I know I'm wrong, and I know you're probably wrong too, but that's okay. We're just vibing, and that's the opposite, is that believing in yourself without, it's being comfortable with being wrong. It's just having fun with it. It's having humility, realizing that you're a human being like everybody else, and you're not hot shit. And I guess pessimism is you're not hot shit and they're not hot shit. I think we're all hot shit in our way, shape, and form. We're all gods. We all have heaven and hell inside of us. We all have different perspectives on life, even though they're the exact same situation. They just did a Matt Damon movie about that, Last Duel, I think, where they played the same situation, and each time, each one saw something different. What am I trying to say out of all that? Yeah, we get bogged down by ego then. We think we're fearful in life, and we have like this overconfidence of our abilities at that point, because we're afraid of life. We're afraid of change. We have those things bogging us down that really either makes us hate each other, makes us hate ourselves, gets angry at each other, or, makes us egotistical pricks, or makes us just, afraid of each other, and that's where ego stems from. It's having that overconfidence in yourself as a band-aid. It's a band-aid to cover up those traumas, just like people do with alcohol, escapism, dissociation, drugs, what have you. Just anything you can use to cover that stuff up, and we do to any degree anyway with the little things. But a lot of us do stuff to excess with other things, and it stops us from seeing the bigger picture in a situation and learning those values, I guess, learning those life lessons out of it. But what am I trying to say here is, it blocks us out from learning that stuff, It's not self-love, it's self-fellatioing over and over, because I don't know. Because like that overconfidence is there to cover up those bad feelings, and they're just band-aid fixes. They just stop it for a short period of time, and then the wound is still there. So you gotta have self-love. You gotta heal. I think a lot of us need that, and everyone kind of deserves it, because I mean, in my perspective, this is a hot take, and I feel like a lot of people would disagree because it's really hard. I mean, I'm constantly just figuring out myself, but I don't know, man. Like, I know there seems to be like true evil in the world, because people do really fucked up things to each other, and it's not right. But what I'm thinking is that, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think anybody is truly evil. I think we're all have mental illness to a degree of self-hating ourselves, or self-hating the situation, or I don't know. It's just people do things out of fear and do things that other people did to them in that constant cycle. So how can, like, Jeffrey Dahmer had a tumor on his brain. Like, did he do the things that he did, like, based on himself or based off a tumor growing on his brain? Like, I'm kind of learning that I'm constantly judging to see if this is true or not by viewing situations and trying to gain a deeper meaning, but that people aren't truly evil, and people just do stuff out of fear themselves. But I mean, yeah, it sucks when they do fucked up things to each other, yeah, I don't, again, know what I'm trying to say. There's no overall point. I think my original point was imagery. Yeah, I mean, we just overcomplicate shit when it's all pretty simple, and it's overcomplicated not all the time because of something we consciously choose. A lot of times it's subconsciously there based off our experiences. We can't see, not aware of our own shortcomings a lot of the time, and that's just due to our environment growing up, and the way our parents thought, or the way our people that raised us thought, and the different things that's happened. So what I'm trying to say is that it's all fear of change. It's fear of the unfamiliarity. And it's fear of something different than what you already have, because you're already comfortable a lot of times in your own mess. Like, it doesn't bother you, but it bothers other people. It really fucks with other people sometimes if you're not aware, if you're stuck on ego level 1 and you're a Karen just bitching at workers. Like, you don't see your own shortcomings on that Karen, but else is getting something out of it. They're getting worse days out of it. And so I think a lot of times we subconsciously do these things. We're not aware of them. And it's totally just unlearning those patterns and those habits and those ways of looking at life. And really, it's just coming to that simple truth, that we all can agree on. All right. One last point I wanted to make is that I feel like we learn this stuff by unintentionally being every set piece in certain situations. We all gain that wisdom and perspective by playing that role, and feeling how one would feel in that situation. And then when your situation switched and you're playing that usually opposite role, you're just like, oh, this is why they were like that. Yeah, and grass is always greener, and we constantly go to that other side thinking it's going to be better in that situation, and we learn that it isn't. It's just the same, and yeah, I mean, just live your life and don't be afraid it's wrong. and then change, Don't be afraid to be those set pieces and learning that new perspective on a situation, and then remembering that same situation when you play usually opposite set piece, What I'm trying to say is I think everybody in their subjective reality, plays all those perspectives and then gets that wisdom out of it, and learns to love and appreciate this life which it really all comes down to just this other person is you, You treat them badly, you're treating yourself badly. You get angry at stuff that, again, to a degree, because I don't know about this true evilness thing. Like, I think you're allowed to be angry at a lot of things. But, a lot of times, what we view as something annoying or something you hate in somebody else is usually something that you do yourself. I know I do that a lot. My overall point was, we get caught up in ourselves and our own brand when the tribe next door is saying the same thing in a different way with maybe a different puzzle piece connected to it that you can gain that new perspective on by exchanging these stories, and in doing so, we are getting closer to God Babylonian wise. Like, oh, you got that wisdom now with being able to speak all the same language and truth. How about you do it with all these multicultural language divides and come to those simple truths then. Try it. And I think that's that point of that story about Babylon in the Bible. It's like, I don't think that's what actually happened, but I believe it's that case of, look, like, it's easy to find God in your own echo chambers, but that's what it is, and you don't learn more about fate or the universe. You just, sit in your own farts and you don't smell other people's farts. What I'm trying to is that, I think it all unravels that mystery and we do that by talking to each other and exchanging these truths that make us more like children, and not in a bad way, in a way of realizing we're interconnected. And, I believe we're fully the same fucking spirits, and every time we do something bad to somebody else, we are literally, it's like Andy Weir, the guy that wrote The Martian, wrote a short story called The Egg, where you find out that you were every person in history up until the point of your death now. So if I went and died, which could happen, I go up to heaven, and they're like, you go up to heaven and you meet with God, and God's talking to you. You're just walking in blankness, and you're asking him questions, and he's saying, he's giving you a bunch of answers and stuff about your life, and then you ask, like, okay, what do I do now? And he's just like, well, you were in the perspective, and now I'll let my past self tell the rest. Yeah, you were in the perspective of Josh Pomeranke, and now you're in the perspective of Sun Quan in 1640 China. I don't know what empire that was at the time, but and we're all like this same spirit that's just slowly growing and gaining different perspectives on life until we have fully seen every single perspective, and we learn we're like an egg. We finally hatch at that point, and I think the point of the story is when we become our own God or being in a universe of people. I don't remember what the point of the ending was. The point is, though, is that we were Jesus, we were Hitler, we were Jeffrey Dahmer, we were Albert Einstein, we were Gandhi, we were Brad Pitts, we were Angelina, we were Johnny Depp, we were Amber Heard, we were Ukraine, we were Russian, like, like we're really, the point is we're literally making it worse for ourselves in another reality or timeline that we might have to live ourselves. Maybe this is just one this is one perspective in the subtle of almost an infinite amount of perspectives. Like, there's 7.7 billion people on this earth right now with different perspectives. And that's just now. We've gone back, I don't even know how long humans existed for. I think our written records go back 9,000 years or something. I don't know. But back, I think, with the Egyptians or some shit. But I guess they literally just found cities underneath the Amazonian jungle, which kind of match these theories that there was more civilizations than just Babylonia and Egypt and all that shit back then, and they were actually more advanced than we thought. Like the Library of Alexandria type shit. But oh my God, what was my point? Josh, just come up with a point. Just stop edging yourself, your brain, and just come to a point already. I don't know. The point is that just enjoy yourselves, learn to love yourself and unravel, and in doing so, peel back the layers of yourself and get to a point of just truly loving yourself. Because at that point, true confidence comes, true acceptance comes. The secret to acceptance is realizing you don't need acceptance. It's, or need to be accepted. You need acceptance. Yeah, it's, the point is that you do that, everything else comes naturally. We want to be kind to each other. We want to love each other. We want to be the best for each other. We just want to do nice things for each other out of just want, not getting anything out of it, but just the joy that you did something. And that comes all from loving yourself first and not forcing it, All right, I guess that's just my perspective on it, really. I gotta get out of this parking lot. People are filtering into this church. Holy shit, I was supposed to go to the gym an hour ago. Oh my God, what am I doing? All right, yeah, that's just the point, is that's what I've learned over the last... I'm talking about, different traumatic events or bad qualities in yourself that you have gained through bad experiences with other people. And we are afraid to live without some of those because they're mechanisms of protection. A few years is that you're bogged down by this stuff. Things you think you need to hold on to because you're either funnier or you think that if you don't hold on to it, everybody's going to forget it. And really, it's just holding on to that one ring from Lord of the Rings. It's going to destroy us, We need to learn to set it down and let it go and learn to enjoy life without it, which is going to be easier. You're holding onto a boulder and saying, this is the best that life can get, but really it can get so much better by peeling back those layers and learning to accept them, learning to love yourself regardless of them or through them, and be free of them, let go of them, you know. I learned that more than a lot of people, for sure. You're holding on to this boulder, and that's what life is. That's what you think life is. You think, oh, this is happiness right here. This is the best that I can get. You can't fathom, you can't remember anymore what life was like without that boulder. You're just used to it. It's like, what's that thing that people like kidnapped by people, and then just learn to love it? What's it called? Stockholm Syndrome. It's literally Stockholm Syndrome of our own life. And at least in my perspective, what I learned is that no, there's happiness can be much, much better. It can feel like ecstasy. Ecstasy is a word for a drug that we use, but ecstasy is just a word that was already a word, and it meant ecstasy. It meant that feeling of ecstasy. We can have that ecstasy without that drug. Like, that can be life, honestly. Like, your life can just be filled with ecstasy without drugs or anything Band-Aid fixing that, you know. Just do yourself a favor and work on mental health, you know. Put that as a priority and focus, and maybe your daily routine too. And just take it easy on yourself, you know. Love yourself first, and then loving everybody else will come naturally at that point. But remember to have humility with it, so it doesn't turn into this, I don't know, this self jerk off like I'm probably doing right now. I don't know. Yeah, okay, that's my point. I'm done. I gotta stop. I gotta get to the gym. I have like an hour. Got to do my daily routine to, you know, get in a good perspective to enjoy my day, you know, to enjoy the little moments. And just be kind, hold the door open for people, give people a smile and just excitement. And I don't know, like, that's how I get off during the day, is that I just I don't force myself. Sometimes, I guess, I learn to enjoy the little things in the moment and then be the best person I can be just in that moment. And in that moment is usually just, you know, being a golden retriever for people, just strangers, just being kind, overly kind, and holding the doors open for like 7 people at the gym, you know, just standing. I don't know, maybe a lot of it is, I thought about this the other day, just unnecessarily kind. You think you're being kind, but really it's just you're trying too hard. I mean, that's what people pleasing is, which is a life lesson I've learned over the years, and I'm still learning. Yeah, it's just, that's how I find joy in my day, is getting that basic routine down, forcing myself into the day, just literally moseying in the beginning of the day, and just like realizing time is a construct and we're literally only give a shit about time to not miss things. But in all reality, life goes on and you don't have to focus on that time, you know. You can just literally just enjoy waking up and enjoy being in the moment in the day through doing those simple things you love right when you get up and not rushing yourself. I almost hit a squirrel right around the place where those duckies were. Okay, what was I trying to say? ADHD mind, what are you doing to me? Yeah, I mean, just building those routines up, giving yourself what you need, to get yourself right, whatever that may be in that moment in time, that's not hurting anybody else, and just do it and love yourself, especially in the beginning of the day. Forgive yourself for the day before, and just enjoy yourself, because it's not going to last very long. Like, I've been to these funerals recently and over the years too, and they never say stuff about like, oh yeah, you should give a shit more about time. You should, or okay, maybe not that. You should. What am I trying to say? Is you don't go to a funeral and they say, oh yeah, you should care about work more. Like you should be more serious about life. Like, they never say that sort of stuff. They always say, like, I think that what this learns out of it is just to appreciate things in the moment and enjoy ourselves and just love each other, because you don't know when it's going to be taken away. And that's usually the overall theme in funerals, is that these deaths make us realize, holy shit, dude, wake up. Like, stop taking life so seriously. Your own perspective isn't the one perspective. Like, you don't have to get angry at everybody else because they are infringing on your perspective. Stop taking life so seriously, and in doing so, stop thinking so much and overcomplicating shit, and just be a child in the moment, and just love and forgive each other immediately, and just accept each other, accept each other where we're at. Okay, I don't know where I was going with all that again, but yeah, I mean, that's how I get through my day, is just enjoying those little things, because that's what they say at funerals to do. And I guess when it gets to my funeral, I hope that people say, you know what, like, he did live that life, he did appreciate the little things, he didn't take life too seriously, he enjoyed himself, and everybody else should too, he was at a childlike heart, I guess, I don't know. I want them to say that this guy learned from every other funeral before him. He's the best listener at funerals. No. I don't know. I'm not. I just need to get to the gym. I'm just done preaching. I'm done reading. I just, I'm gonna go enjoy that hot tub, and then, enjoy the rest of my day. So, peace. Love you. Smooches. Gucci. One peace, one love. Yeah, all that jazz. I believe that my sister lives on in her reality, and maybe I died, and she's learning how to love herself too, despite, just life, I don't know, why am I so lucky to get this? I'm no better than anybody else. So, I mean, I guess that's what I tell myself. That's what I believe, is that there is a actual architect up there. That would make the most sense, is that everybody lives on in their reality and becomes great, or gains that wisdom, learns and grows and holds on and lets go of all the things and perspectives that makes them in life. All right, one last thing. Don't even sweat, dog. No pressure. I mean, we all get there eventually, like all those things that bog us down will probably end up empowering us. And all those things that we think we'll never learn or change or be, yeah, we will, eventually. I think that's the joy of life. So, don't worry so much. But that's easy for me to say, I guess. Yeah, I mean, oh, it's a beautiful day. Have a good day, guys. I'm finally making it to the gym, an hour and 25 minutes.